Hey friend, Church D coming at you once again. Thank you for tuning into What Does It Take to Win. I hope your month has gone pretty well as we're approaching yet another new month. I hope it's been blessed, and I hope you have some exciting events and different projects coming up for you that you can look forward to. I just want to quickly say, it's been a full month since I released my brand new project by the name of Something's Missing. I've been getting a ton of great reviews on that one. I think this is the most streams I've seen on any of my projects. So, I'm excited about that. I'm happy that it's doing so well. If you haven't heard it yet, go ahead and check it out. It's entitled Something's Missing. I dropped it on January 25th, 2021. It's 13 amazing tracks on there. I did some singing as well. If you want to hear what my singing voice sounds like. That's not like my real singing voice, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, you can just listen and enjoy it and be blessed. Also, I put out some other music, so you can check out my full catalog. If you don't know it by now, I'll just go right down the list again. In 2019, I put out an album entitled The Cactus Bare Minimum 2.0. And that's an awesome project. That was my first project. In 2020, I dropped a single entitled The Vision. It's like a futuristic jazz vibe on there with an amazing saxophonist. And in summer of 2020, right during the pandemic, I released an EP by the name of The Big Reveal. That was another jazz type futuristic project on there. I have a little reggae, a little bit of the Afrobeat vibes on there as well. The true Afrobeat, not the pop that everybody listens to and calls Afrobeat, but that's another story. But check out my music. I got a ton of content out there. If you need beats, if you need instrumentals or production done, you can reach out to me. Or if you want to grab some beats without talking to me, you can just head over to soundclick.com/churchd, or you can click the link that's in the description and just grab the beats there. I do have some beats on there that have my vocal tag. I have some that do not have my vocal tag. And if you're looking for exclusive rights and stems, you can just go ahead and shoot me a quick DM or email, or you can book me and then we can talk about exclusive rights pricing. So we can go from there. So again, soundclick.com/churchd, and you can find some instrumentals that you will love. So if you're a singer, songwriter, rapper, or just somebody who needs it for a YouTube video or whatever the case may be, go ahead, soundclick.com/churchd. And yeah, like I said, you can click the link in my in this description for the podcast, and it'll take you to all of my content. So you can learn a little bit more about me and you can connect with me a little bit on a deeper level. Okay. So that's enough of the promo at the beginning. Let's jump right into this podcast episode. It's deviating a little bit from the normal episodes in the sense of it's more so just I'm going to be focusing on our mental health, and I entitled this episode The Mental Health Break. These aren't like straightforward points that I'll be discussing, but these are just some things that I'm going to talk about for all of us to consider. And I'll just give you a couple scenarios that I've dealt with either in the past or more recently. And, sometimes when I had to take a mental health break and regroup and say, okay, what's going on here? How am I going to handle this? I'm a bit stressed out right now, but I can get through this. So let's jump right in to the mental health break. So the first point, if you will, I have 3 points. So the first point I'll be dealing with is just basically getting our feelings into check. The second point I'll be dealing with is our relationships and interactions with other individuals, of course. And the third and final point is basically feeling stagnant and not reaching the goals that we think we should be reaching, or the goals that we set for ourselves. So let's get it started. So getting our feelings into check. Point number 1. Just here's some tips for dealing with our feelings when things don't go as planned. Sometimes we feel sad, depressed, overwhelmed, anxious, heartbroken, confused, all the above. This is just what life deals to us at sometimes. So some of the things that I do when I feel that way is I say to myself, okay, when it rains, it pours, right? Everything seems to try to hit you all at once, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to deal with everything all at once. Okay. It's not written somewhere in a handbook saying, okay, everything's coming at you, you have to fight it all at once. No, you don't have to do it. You can tackle each thing one at a time. Just don't allow it to all stress you out. So for example, if you got bills due, and let me backtrack a little bit. So if you do have to handle certain things all at once, okay, every situation is different. It might be imperative where it's like, okay, I got to get all this stuff done, or else, I don't know, I'm not going to have a place to live or a car to drive. That's understandable. Then you might have to handle that all at once. But if these are just stressors where you can sort of say, okay, let me handle this one at a time, bit by bit, do it that way. And for example, if you don't know how to handle it bit by bit, let's pick out, some of these emotions that we might be having. So let's say we are overwhelmed and everything is due or everything is coming at us all at once and it's starting to make us feel sad. Okay, so let's take a step back and we have to deal with our sadness, right? Before we can even attempt to tackle the things that are coming at us, we have to sit back and say, okay, well, I'm feeling pretty sad. We have to acknowledge that first. Secondly, we have to figure out what exactly it is that's making us sad or depressed or feeling overwhelmed. Once we identify that, we have to figure out, okay, what's the angle we're going to use in order to attack this so we are no longer feeling this way? How are we going to solve this problem? And there are many ways you can solve this problem. That's up to you. How I do it is what I just said. I identify the problem. Well, excuse me. Not identify. I first acknowledge that there is a problem. I acknowledge that, okay, I might be feeling this way. Then I identify why I'm feeling that way. And then I look for the solution to the problem. And then usually things work out. If it's out of my control, obviously I'll try to reach out to somebody who can help. And then we can work through it together, or, I'll do like a reading on something or just do some research to figure out how can this problem or this issue be solved? And am I the only person who's going through it? 9 times out of 10, you're not the only person who's going through it and looking for the solution. Thankfully, we have the internet where you literally can type in a phrase and then you'll get millions of results. So you're not alone in this. There's a bunch of other people who are going through the same thing you're going through. It's just the best thing to do is not keep it all bottled up. Just try to reach out to some people, or like I said, look it up and you might find the answer that you're looking for. But always stay in contact with your elders. I can't stress this enough. They were here before you, so chances are they've gone through it first and they might have the best advice. Sometimes they don't have the best advice, but that's for you to weigh in. Okay. So that's basically it for point number 1. Let's move on to point number 2, where, I'll just be talking about relationships and our interactions with, let's say colleagues, loved ones, business relationships, and even strangers. What do you do in order to keep things running smoothly, and how do you get through some of these rocky patches? So let's say it's a romantic relationship and you guys just, you were rocking for a long time. Everything was cool. And then all of a sudden it's just not cool anymore. And you got love for each other and you don't want things to end. It doesn't have to end. You just communicate. That's the key word. I know it sounds simple. I know you've heard it a bunch of times before, but communication is key. And practice active listening as well, because sometimes the person you're communicating with, and this goes for non-romantic relationships as well, the business ones, even just meeting strangers in the store. Sometimes you're communicating with somebody and they're not saying everything, but you can tell what they mean by how they're saying it, or their body language when they're saying it, and so on. So just practice active listening. A lot of the things that are not said verbally are still communicated. You just have to pay attention to that. And sometimes, you might have certain battles that you want to fight. So let's say, you have a run-in with somebody. I'll use this as an example because this thing got me pretty hot not too long ago. I was outside clearing out the snow because where I'm located, we get a ton of snow. Well, not every winter, but, some winters we get a ton of snow. So I was cleaning out the snow and these pickup trucks, of course, were speeding by on my street. So, I'm cleaning out the snow. I'm at the edge of my driveway and this truck just comes and splashes me with dirty water that's like right at the edge of my driveway. And I raised my hands up. I'm like, really, dude? Like, you see me here clearing out this snow. Like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to splash me? Like I was starting to get kind of frustrated, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, I got to get this guy back, because like, I'm not about to be out here getting bullied by somebody. They think they can drive by and, harass me like that. I'm just going to let it fly. No, I'm going to find him. I'm going to follow his car and I'm going to handle it, But that's not the best idea. That's not something I would recommend for anybody to do. And I ended up not doing it. I took a step back and I thought to myself, I was like, okay, it's not important. It's just water. It's going to dry. If it's dirty, muddy water, I can always go inside and take a shower. And then I began to think a little bit deeper and said, okay, well, what if this escalated and the law enforcement had to get involved? What would the narrative be? Oh, he splashed me with water, so I went after him. That sounds really childish, right? For both of us, especially. But, that could have caused major issues. Both of us, we could have gotten some sort of, citation, or had to pay a fine or whatever. And that could have just been really annoying if I had decided to go after him and, pursue revenge. So I said that to say, not every battle is yours. You don't have to always pursue every situation. You don't have to fight everybody, especially with these relationships, or if they're like strangers. You don't always have to go after everything. It's exhausting. You're going to lose a lot of energy that way. Sometimes you just have to say, you know what? You have a nice day, and keep it moving. On the flip side, there are a lot of crazy people out there. So let's say you're driving on the road, somebody cuts you off and you want to try to get revenge on them. You might get revenge on them. They might follow you to the local gas station, and then an altercation could occur. So you have to keep these things in mind. You don't necessarily know, and this is kind of off topic, but you don't necessarily know what people are dealing with. So with your relationships and how you navigate with them, practice the active listening. Okay. So you see how I circle back to that. You could be driving, they could cut you off. Pay attention. If you can see them in their car, try to get a look at their face, see what they're going through. If they look a little deranged, you'll know to just let them keep going and pray for their safety. Okay, so that's that for relationships. You don't have to fight every battle. Practice active listening, definitely, and just be patient. That's the last part I could add to that. And last but not least, point number 3, feeling stagnant. Now, I think the society we live in is, goal driven or results driven? I think that's the word for it. If not, I just made that up. But it's very easy to feel stagnant. It's easy to feel as though that what we're doing is not enough. And I did another episode entitled Don't Forget It, where I was basically saying, look back at the accomplishments that you've made and use that as fuel as you go forward into the future and try newer and better things. And as you create more content or you just embark on new projects, use that as fuel. And also try to recognize when you're beginning to burn out. I think I've become better at recognizing my burnout points, especially at the age I'm at right now. I'm not super old, but I'm getting up there. But there was once upon a time where I would just keep working and working and working, and I'd be exhausted physically and mentally. It'd be a struggle for me to even want to do anything during the day. I'd be there physically, I'd be present physically, but mentally I'm not there. I'm somewhere else. I'm probably in my bed. I'd be going to work and the manager would come in and say, okay, can you take care of all of this? And I'd be like, okay, sure. And because I had done so much work on all of these other projects, in addition to working a 9 to 5, I'd be drained. And I wouldn't take any breaks. I would just keep pushing. But mentally, I was not there. Physically, my body was there, but I was someplace else. I might have been on an island. So yeah, when you're feeling stagnant and you're not reaching your goals, just ask yourself, okay, well, am I starting to burn out? If you are starting to burn out, take a break. I always say this. I did a podcast on it. Take a break. It doesn't have to be like a vacation. It doesn't have to be a couple of weeks, but I don't know, maybe take a half day, take a couple of days off and just try to get your thoughts together and regroup. And also just think about what you've done, what you did before, what you did in the past, all the accomplishments that you've made, and just remind yourself that, yeah, I'm good enough. Yeah, I'm wise enough. I'm smart enough. I can handle this. I'm just tired. You never see an athlete, well, yeah, you never see an athlete train until they're tired and then try to go like perform in their sport. No, they'll do their training and then they'll rest. And then once they rest and recover, then they go and they'll, perform well on the field or in the arena in which they are participating in. So be like the athlete. You do your training, you do your work, but you're going to have to take that break and recover. And you'll see that you are feeling stagnant mainly because you are tired and burning yourself out. Okay? So that's my third and final point on this episode. It might have sounded a little bit all over the place, but it's really just a mental health break. I wanted to share a few, tips and some ideas with you on what it is that I do when I'm feeling a certain way and when I just need to take a mental health break. I might do a part 2 to this or not. It depends if it really helped you or if it gave you some ideas. You can shoot me a quick email. You can DM me. You can inbox me if you have me on Facebook. Just let me know how you feel. That's the end of this, for the mental health break podcast. Let's just do a quick recap of the 3 points, if you will, that I spoke about. The first point is getting our feelings in check. Okay, how to handle that. The second point deals with relationships and our interactions with colleagues, loved ones, and even business relationships, how to keep that flowing steady. And the third and final point is just basically talking about feeling stagnant and what to do when you feel that way. Hey, we're all in this together. I think right around this time, we're still surviving this pandemic. We're all feeling the effects of it. A lot has happened. Kudos to you for trooping through all of this stress that's going on right now. You're doing well. You're going to get through it. I'm going to get through it. We're going to get through it together. We just got to keep pushing and keep God first. Thanks for listening to this podcast. I hope it blessed you and I hope it encouraged you. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and to share this. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with people you don't even like. Share it with that person who keeps bothering you for advice. I got you covered. And lastly, if you'd like to connect with me, just click the link in the description for all of my content. I have some great things in store for you. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.